Hi there, Becky here from 168 Fitness. This week I'm continuing with my losing weight before the summer holidays theme. Last week I was talking about exercise and energy expenditure to help you to lose weight, and this week I'm talking about the food that you eat, what it would be best, and nutrition for helping you to lose weight or at least maintain weight before the summer holidays. So kicking that off, I want you to think first of all about calories. Now that sounds sometimes like a dirty word, and often people assume that counting calories, it's a negative thing to do, but really when I'm talking about calories, yes, you need to know how much energy you are putting into your body. So calories is the amount of energy you're putting into the body. It's how we measure it. And that is important and is key for losing or maintaining weight or even gaining weight. You need to get the equation right. So your energy input needs to be less than your energy output in order to lose weight, or vice versa. Your energy output needs to be more than your energy input in order to lose weight. If you want to maintain weight, your energy input and your energy output, so the food you consume and the amount of exercise or activity that you're doing, need to be the same in order to maintain weight. And then if you were gaining weight, your energy input would need to be more than your energy output, and that's obviously how people do gain weight even if they're not intending to, by not moving very much and by eating too much for the equation. Okay, so that shows you how calories is important. Now, when I talk about calories, I don't want you to be counting calories as in a slave to calories, because actually it does go beyond that. But the first thing that if you are thinking about weight management, the first thing you have to think about is calories and energy. Think of it as energy, what you're putting into your body to fuel it, like you would a car with petrol or diesel. Think about the food that you are consuming in order to give your body energy. You do need to be aware of how much of that food, that input you are putting into your system, much like you would with a car. You wouldn't try and overfill your tank. It wouldn't be possible. You would spill out. So you've got to think about not overfilling your body with energy. So getting that equation right with the calories you consume. So the first thing I would want you to do, and this is actually what I tell my clients, and it actually makes it a lot easier now with modern technology. Once upon a time, if I was looking at a client wanting to lose weight or maintain weight, and we were looking at food in general, I would ask them to write a food diary, and then I would look at that food diary, analyse it, add up the calories, and think about how much they're expending, whether it's too much or too little, and how their calories relate to that. But now there is a really simple app that you can use. You may have already heard of it, and it is MyFitnessPal. There's probably other apps available, but MyFitnessPal is really good. It's free for one, and you can get it on any phone as well. I think you can even get it on computers as well. So you can download the app, get set up on there. You input your current weight. I think you put your height in there, age, level of activity, and you've got to be honest with that. Don't put that you're extremely active. If you have a sit-down job, a desk job perhaps, you probably low activity levels if you're not moving with your day-to-day work. And if you're not exercising as well, that's going to be low activity level. But have a look at that. Download MyFitnessPal. Get started with it. And why it's really good, why I recommend it, and it is really good for weight management, is because it's got lots of foods already inputted into it. So it's a database basically of foods and meals and recipes and things, packaged foods, Tesco bought food, supermarket bought food I should say, that you can use to track. So it's basically logging your food intake, your calorie intake, but because it's already compiled that database already, then you don't need to do the hard work of working out how many calories are in this or how many calories in that. You literally could just scan a barcode of something. If you've got, I don't know, a yogurt that you've eaten at lunchtime, you scan the barcode of the yogurt, it knows what that is, because it's in the database hopefully, and then you say you've had one pot of yogurt, and it will add that to your daily intake of calories. Sometimes you need to, if you've got fresh produce, you might need to weigh that out and input that in. But it is worth doing that to get an idea of what you're consuming on a daily basis. So going back to how I work with clients, so what I would usually say, someone's just starting working with me on nutrition, I would say, right, use MyFitnessPal for a whole week, and then log everything you've eaten and also drank as well, because obviously water, no calories in that, but everything else got probably calories in it, so you need to be adding that, especially sort of fizzy drinks, wine, alcohol, that sort of thing. You need to be adding that because that can increase your energy input quite dramatically. So using MyFitnessPal for at least a week so that I can see how much you're consuming and how that relates to sort of the goals that MyFitnessPal will set you. Sometimes they're not quite accurate, those goals, and I will increase them for clients, but it's just good as a baseline to sort of see how you're comparing to what you need to be eating to lose weight or maintain weight. So using it just to log the food, see what you're eating, give you an idea. It's a bit of an eye-opener as well for sometimes, and for some clients, and even for myself, when I get into some habits of eating bigger portions or snacking on things that I probably don't want to be snacking on really. When you add it all up, it is really interesting to see how much that actually equates to. So using that for at least a week, and then if your eating is pretty consistent, i.e. like you kind of eat the same sort of meals, same sort of eating patterns each day, then you don't need to do it every day. Some of my clients do it, and they probably get the best results when they're tracking day in, day out, because it gives them the flexibility to eat whatever they want, but actually be logging it and still conscious of how much energy that's providing them, so that they can monitor that and make sure they're not going over the limit each day. But using it for at least a week to give you an idea of what you're consuming and then adapting accordingly. But we'll get to that in a moment. So that's my first step. That's what I want you to do this week. I want you to download MyFitnessPal, get set up on MyFitnessPal app, and be logging your food intake for the next 7 days. In full, be as honest as you can. No one's going to see it unless you want me to have a look at it, which you can give me access to if you do want. But just being as honest as you can, bit of an eye-opener, see how much energy you're consuming and see how that equates to your energy expenditure. You can also link up your exercise and add that in, because obviously if you do more exercise, then you will get more calories as kind of a reward for that. You get to eat a little bit more because you are burning off some more, which is a healthy way of losing weight. So that's my first step for you. Now, the sort of things I would look at once a client has done that for me, has logged their food diary. When I'm looking at that food diary, I'd be looking at how much I'm thinking of how best to describe this. I have like a traffic light system of how I grade foods. So you've got your natural, healthy, nutritious, wholesome foods, things like chicken, green vegetables, any vegetables really, fruit, all natural, nutritious foods that we know are good for us, oats, rice, potatoes, those sort of things. They are good for us, and as long as we monitor our portions of those foods, as with any foods, then they are great for our bodies. They give us really good fuel rather, and they hopefully taste good, and natural, nutritious, healthy energy. So they would be green. They would be great foods. Kind of eat as much as you want of them, but up to a point, and obviously keeping track of those calories as well. Then you've got your kind of amber moderation food. So they are sort of things like bread, which ordinarily it's not bad for you. There's no such thing really as a bad food. There's foods that aren't as great as other foods, but it would be an amber food because it's not the best. There's better foods out there that you could eat to give you better nutrition. It is man-made, it's manufactured, it's got some good qualities. It's like, for example, it's not high in fat, high in sugar. It kind of has some nutrition, but it's not something I'd want you to eat a lot of. And I would want you to try and find a more satisfying, nutritious option if you can. So that would be like an amber food, or off the top of my head now I'm trying to think, orange juice, that might be one as well, because again, it's not bad, it's not unhealthy for you, but I wouldn't want you to have a lot of it because it's a lot of sugar, it's a lot of calories that perhaps is unnecessary. So things that are good on the surface, but perhaps you need to be moderating how much you consume of them. That's like an amber food. And then you've got your red foods that, again, I'm never going to tell someone don't eat this, don't eat that, because it's up to you what you put in your body. But a red food would be something that I would advise against if you are serious about your goals, and definitely limiting how many you have of those. So if you're going for, again, this is one of my kind of rules that I go by and also encourage clients, that sort of the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time you are eating exactly what you know is good, healthy, nutritious, natural foods, lots of fruits, vegetables, protein, that sort of thing. And then 20% of the time you have a bit of what you fancy. So that might be those red foods, it might be those amber foods as well, whatever you kind of want to choose, really. And that, as that the 80-20 rule works out across the week, is approximately 3 to 4 maybe snacks or meals, but again, not going overboard and having huge portions of unhealthy food, those red foods. Yeah, you try and, if you're having something that you know isn't especially healthy, try and have smaller portions of it, and just not doing it day in, day out. So sort of 3 to 4 snacks, meals each week of those red foods, as I like to call them. Okay, so what that does leave you with is trying to eat healthier, natural foods that will be more filling and satisfying, give you really good fuel, help you to feel good, and energized as well. Try and fill your days with that, and then you could have a little bit of a treat with some of the foods whenever you go out, or special occasions, that sort of thing. So to give you an idea, I'll tell you exactly how I eat, and then on a usual basis, and then you can maybe make some changes to that. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'll just be honest, and it kind of works for me, keeps me in shape, helps me to feel energized, I feel good with it and healthy, don't often get ill, touch wood, so it is nutritious and mostly natural, healthy ingredients. So to give you an idea, breakfast is porridge made with just oats and milk, and sometimes water if I want to top it up with that, or water if I haven't got any milk in. Semi-skimmed milk I drink as well. Don't mind having skimmed milk, wouldn't usually have whole milk just because I don't like it. That will usually be with some berries, and then recently I've started putting a spoonful of peanut butter in it. Some of you might think that sounds disgusting, but actually it really works for me because it keeps me full. I don't want to snack mid-morning when I've had that peanut butter. It just gives me that little bit more energy and satisfaction, and I love peanut butter as well, so that works for me. Alternatively, you might want to have some just fresh fruit on top, or some seeds, maybe a little bit of honey drizzled on top. In the summertime I'll probably move towards having sort of my homemade muesli, which will be gluten-free, just because I'm gluten-free. But yeah, fresh fruit, it will be a cold kind of cereal rather than porridge, but mostly made out of oats, fruit, that sort of thing, all healthy, nutritious, and I'll try and find a way to get some peanut butter in there as well. So then sometimes I would need to snack, and that might be on a day where I just need a bit of a pick-me-up. I'll have a banana, I will have coffee with breakfast. So, sorry, we got cut off. As I was saying, when I am hungry, I'll have a banana for a snack. Sometimes I might have a cereal bar if my breakfast was a bit smaller, I've done more exercise in the morning, and I just need something a bit more substantial. I might have a cereal bar, try and go as healthy as possible with that, so like eat natural bars that are all natural ingredients, or I might have a Nature Valley bar that does have added sugar, but it's quite, well, kind of lowish on calories, 200 calories per bar, keeps me full. I know I've had it, gives me that energy to keep going in the morning. And I was saying that I do have coffee with my breakfast, and I have a coffee late morning as well. So then that would take me to lunch. I would usually have sweet potato, so a big sweet potato that I cook in the microwave, make it a jacket potato with some, I buy like a tin of beans, like a taco mix, kind of Mexican bean mix kind of thing. Again, I try and buy the healthiest kind of versions of what I'm eating. So you could have baked beans, they've got a little bit of added sugar. If I was going to have that, I would have the low sugar, low salt version. The beans that I have just have like a tomato sauce, or sometimes I'll just buy the beans without the sauce and just in water. And I look for varieties that just don't have extra salt, extra sugar, any preservatives, those sort of things as well. Try and go as natural as possible with it. Alternatives I might have in the summer: cottage cheese, tuna, maybe some mayo with that, things like that. Healthy, nutritious foods that are going to keep you satisfied. Yeah. So then lunch done, snacks later on. If I'm working a long day and I know dinner's not going to be until sort of 7-8 o'clock, I might have either a cereal bar if I haven't had one earlier on in the day, or I might have just a smallish portion of oats, depending on what exercise I've done earlier on in the day. Oats with maybe some seeds or honey, some milk on as well, just to give me a bit of energy, make sure that I'm able to last until dinner time, and not feel like I'm too hungry to work. And then dinner time, this is where some of you might want some healthy tips. You might not need to snack as much as I do, but the dinner time meal, I try and go low carbs, but not really consciously. It's just more that when I have, if I have something like salmon, new potatoes and veg, I find that doesn't keep me as full as if I have 2 pieces of salmon and veg rather than the potato. So if I swap my carbs for some more protein, so I'm still getting plenty of energy, I feel more satisfied and not as hungry as when I have those carbs. The carbs make me want to eat more carbs. That's what I find personally, and you might be the same. So to stop those cravings after dinner, when I'm sort of just at home chilling out watching TV, I make sure I have double portion of protein, lots of vegetables, like half a plate of vegetables and then the other half's protein, and I will have that to keep me full. And then later on, just as something sweet, I'll probably have some fruit, and fresh fruit or frozen fruit that I've defrosted, and have that with a yogurt as well, just a low fat fruit yogurt. So that gives you an idea of what I'm eating. So hopefully what you can gather from that is trying to eat healthy, nutritious, natural foods. Think about foods that will keep you fuller for longer, and also how they make you feel. So I know that eating healthier foods, natural foods, salmon, I love salmon, chicken, things like that, gluten-free as well, will help me feel good, help me feel energized, healthy, and able to work as much as I need to, sleep properly, and just help with my weight management as well. So then just a few other things that I want to talk about. So I've said about calories, really important, using MyFitnessPal, healthy nutritious foods. Water is really important as well, drinking water between your meals, aiming for that 2 litres a day at least, obviously more if you're doing exercise. That's going to help you to feel fuller as well by drinking lots of water, because sometimes you're thirsty rather than hungry, and we get mixed up, the brain signals, thinking that you're hungry when you actually are thirsty. And yeah, the thing about snacking, the last point I want to make is that snacking is not bad. So sometimes people come to me and say, I've tried to cut out snacking. Now, snacking in itself is not bad, it's what you snack on. So if you're snacking on crisps, chocolate, biscuits, sweets, things like that, yeah, that's not going to be ideal, because that's all extra calories that's not really giving you, well, it's not giving you any nutrition, particularly not good nutrition anyway, and it's going to probably leave you with sugar highs and lows and energy highs and lows like that. What we actually want you to do is to not ever get hungry, because you're eating foods that satisfy you, keep you fuller for longer, and take you to the next meal. Or if you do need a snack, that you're choosing things like bananas, fresh fruit, nuts, natural nuts, and anything that like hummus, carrot sticks, chicken breasts, things like that. Depends what kind of you fancy. I like having oats just because they keep me fuller for longer, and I feel energized after them. But just picking your snacks carefully, and just like you would with your meals, making sure they're nutritious, that they give you energy and keep you going until the next meal, and also within your calorie allowance as well. So, talked a lot this week. What I want you to do, as just a recap, download MyFitnessPal, make sure that you are logging your food for the next 7 days at least. Keep it going if you feel like you need to / want to keep going with the calorie logging, food logging on MyFitnessPal. Try to be within your calorie allowance. Adding on the exercise from last week as well, that I was talking about last week, so that you get to eat a little bit more if you're doing a bit more exercise. Have a think about where you can make some food swaps, healthier food swaps, so it's healthier, more nutritious, more satisfying and fulfilling, more protein, more fresh fruit, vegetables, those sort of things. Looking at water intake as well, 2 litres a day at least. And I think I've given you plenty of homework to be getting on with whilst I'm on holiday. So when I come back from holiday, I'll be able to set you some more advice and homework in order to help you to be in shape for summer. But hopefully you've got plenty to be going on with, and that's all good.